Practice on fear. Why do we need it? From childhood, we were told, don't be afraid. We suppressed all of this inside us. We listened to our parents, don't be afraid. Being afraid is bad, especially to boys who were told that they must not be afraid. What happens? When we are told, don't be afraid, we suppress certain flows within ourselves. That is, we must not be afraid. It seems scary, but we bam and tense up. In other words, we cannot show fear. By the way, many people who are afraid later become aggressive because how do you suppress fear? Only with aggression, we start gaining strength, practicing karate, fighting. Thus, this is suppression. Our task is to uncover the cause, to reveal the cause, for example, of our aggression. Most often, it is fear. How does fear hinder us? It hinders our development because when we think of something like wanting more money, wanting better relationships, or something else, there is tension in the body. The body shows us that it is scary because someone from our parents reacted this way, someone from our friends reacted that way, and we unpacked and repacked all these little tensions within ourselves. What happens when, at some point, we realize that we lack something? There is always a reason in the body, and this reason is fear. Our fears. We are truly afraid of everything. We are afraid to develop, afraid to step into something new. Either we go, but in the end, something goes wrong. Why? Because the initial reason in the body is fear. Fear needs to be released. How do we release it? Through events. Each of us has known since childhood that if we are afraid of dogs, it will rush at us, bark at us, and may even bite us. Why? Dogs and animals can sense the vibration of fear. In fact, people are the same. If you are afraid of something, everyone rushes at you and scares you. Why? Because initially the emotion of fear is trapped in the body, and there is a special practice in which these emotions of fear can be released. Given that each of us has fears, the fear of being hungry, we were told a sea of these fears from childhood. Don't be afraid. And each don't be afraid became a blockage. Tension in the body, organs will start to hurt. There will be places we can't go. Therefore, we will now go into a practice where we will learn to listen to our bodies. Let's go.
We relax. We relax the eyes, nose, mouth, lower jaw, forehead, and temples. We run our attention up the head, to the back of the head, ears, neck, throat, upper shoulder girdle, and arms completely, the entire chest, the whole abdomen, lower back, sacrum coccyx pelvis has completely relaxed, hip joints, thighs, knees, calves, shins, ankles, and feet. Fingers on the toes and hands. The whole body is as relaxed as possible. The body is spreading out. We shift our focus to the chest, the fourth center, and a calm, long inhale, a calm, long exhale. We examine our fourth center. Are there any tensions in it? Breathe calmly. Is the chest even? There is no pressure, just breathe calmly. We place ourselves in front of us, just observing as we can, either in a mirror or just ourselves. The next version of ourselves, the one who knows more, who has more, and the request of my fears. And we listen to our body. That is, I am there, having more, knowing more. A completely different person. And we listen to our fears, what hinders us. The chest began to crush. There were tensions in the chest, and the arms started to blur. The legs sank in the hips. Fear began to tighten the throat. In general, the entire structure of the subtle bodies shifted to the side. Pulsations in the abdomen appeared, striking as if in the stomach. The blows are coming. We simply observe ourselves. The fingers on the hands have become cold. The matter begins to soften and shift sideways. Everything we feel, we dive into it, sinking deeply into all sensations, my fears, the fears of the new me. When it is scary to manifest something new, to launch something new within oneself, to trust something new, we simply spread within ourselves and listen. The chest is very heavily compressed. There are many changes and tensions in the sacrum. There is a lot along the spine at the bottom. The left leg is completely compressed, as if pressed from the inside onto the knee to the left, and it is unwound. Your sensations are primary. We go, looking into ourselves. Everything that is felt in the body, we amplify it to the maximum. We examine the fingers on hands. Many needles and temperature changes there. The meridians are trying to break through from under the nails, and so much is interfering in the fingers. Let's be afraid as much as possible. Today's task is to stoke the fear. We observe how the breathing looks. Does it freeze, or on the contrary, does anxiety appear? How the heart beats. We try to look at this detachedly, just as processes in the body. The heart beats in jerks. Everything is very tense from the kneecaps upwards. We examine our facial expressions, how we catch this fear. Right now we are playing with fear, the fear of our next self. We are living through all the scenarios. By intensifying fear, we accelerate time. We do not spread our fears over many years in space, but now we compress and quickly free ourselves to progress much faster. Through life situations, this takes too long, but we know how to shorten time in practices. It's just scary. I am afraid of my next self, afraid of something new. I already want to stutter. You can speak to yourself inside, allowing yourself to be afraid. It is okay to be afraid. And we directly observe the body's reactions, how it is crushed. Fear that constricts the body and prevents movement or decision-making at some point. There is a point just above the navel that wants to say something. When making a decision, you might notice a sensation of tightness that occurs right there above the navel. This is a common experience for many people. We take a closer look at the big toes, observing them carefully to detect any signs of tension that might be present in the birth canals. This tension could originate from either the mother or the father, and it can manifest on either the right or left side. It's important to pay attention to these subtle cues. Additionally, we take the time to listen to ourselves, tuning into our inner thoughts and feelings to gain a deeper understanding of what might be influencing our physical sensations and emotional responses. By doing so, we can better navigate the decision-making process with greater awareness and clarity. There is a lot of tension in the jaws. The esophagus is starting to stretch. We are going straight into our fears, the fear of the next version of ourselves. We move consciously, not getting too involved. There's no need to completely fall into attacks or panic. We simply observe how our body tightens. The entire spine has contracted. We are a supportive observer. That is, we do not judge ourselves, just fear. We watch how the body releases it. There is a lot of tension in the head, temples, and the eyes are glued shut, especially the left one. That is, the temple is swelling onto the eye. We examine our entire fascial system, all our records and fears. There is pain in the left side of the chest. The legs are all tense. It's an interesting tension throughout the body. Fear when we have shrunk and contracted. The fear of any new action. The brain feels completely constricted, trying to turn the whole system around. We try to relax the body as much as possible, focusing only on these tensions, directing our attention there, speeding up time. I am afraid. You can directly say, I am afraid. I am scared. Scared to be new. Scared to be different. Scared to step out of my limitations, out of these fears. All these tensions are our limitations. They constrict us. And how do we get out of that? How we are tied to previous experiences, previous failures, not only our own, but also those of our parents. And here we go. Since we remembered, let's set it up. We place Dad in front of us, so we stand as new, and Dad stands next to us. And we try to look at all of this. How well we manage to look straight ahead, at the floor or to the side. How straight our body is trying to observe all of this. There is a lot of nausea, a rejection of the next self is happening. There is a tremor throughout the body. The body feels all spread out, as if it has been rolled out by a steamroller. We are considering all philosophically. All of our subtle facial expressions, we examine everything, we amplify everything. There is a lot of nausea in the esophagus on the left. We amplify. This is nausea. This is a rejection of oneself, a rejection of the next self. Their regrets also come out. That's it. You can observe which emotions are present by the facial expressions. If the emotions are unclear, we simply go by the tensions, by the temperature conditions, whatever is more convenient, by the prickles. Heavy, or on the contrary light. We amplify everything, any sensations. We amplify the emptiness. We amplify with the focus of attention. The left leg has holes. There is a piece missing in the thigh. There is none in the calf. We note everything. We examine everything. We look at ourselves, at Dad, and at our fears of becoming someone else. Tears are present, the head is twitching, the whole body is shaking. We allow everything, all manifestations to be. We examine it, we can even amplify it. The stronger the amplification, the faster the emotion will pass. This tension will pass. Again, it can be, Dad, I am afraid. Dad, I am afraid of becoming someone else. You can say, Dad, I am afraid of you. And we observe the body's reactions. Dad, I am afraid of you. There is a collective image of men. And we listen to the body, how everything has gone off, how everything is prickling. Breathing, we examine the facial expressions. The coccyx is shaking, the legs are shaking. There is a lot of tension, a lot of static. This is how we are all tightened by emotions. A strong fear. Mom, we said it. We look at Mom. Our main task is to allow ourselves to be afraid, to allow ourselves this feeling. There are a lot of pulsations in the abdomen. There is a real twitching. We examine ourselves carefully. Any of your most vivid sensations are primary. We immediately throw our focus there. Mom got up. Mom, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the new me, the new one. There are a lot of pulsations in the stomach. The body has gone back into a twist again. Let's also talk it out, see the body's reaction. Mom, I'm afraid of you. The hip joints are shaking the left leg. We relax, carefully examine ourselves. We allow the body to unload everything at once. It's just electricity, emotions recorded in the body. We allow all these now unnecessary emotions that limit us to come out. You can exhale these emotions. Just exhale, notice the tension, and calmly exhale with an open mouth. Mom, I allow myself to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid. A lot is released from the stomach. These rings that sometimes compress the esophagus are released in spasms. You can clearly see how the belly relaxes. We are just afraid, allowing ourselves everything we once prohibited. Now we allow everything. We allow the body to relax and let any emotions flow through us. They no longer need to be held back. The body is a conduit, not a reservoir. We allow everything. You can feel any emotions. We just look at our parents. Dad, Mom are standing in front of us, a collective image of men and women. And we say there, I am afraid to become new to me. It's scary. It's scary to go into the new. It's scary to go into the unknown. And we listen to the body's reactions. There I stand new myself, Mom. Everyone is looking at me there, at my new manifestation. There are a lot of pulsations in my head. The belly, solar plexus is trembling. We examine. How even are the identical arms, right, left, legs? I am afraid. Again, we look at the breath, examining whether it is there or not. We listen, us. We observe our fears, allowing ourselves to feel all these tensions. It's just electricity that we once suppressed, forbidding ourselves pieces of energy, forbidding ourselves to feel this vibration, and we also suppressed it. The body, being tense, does not let through the energy that we, for some reason, labeled as fear. All these clumps of tension attract events in which we get scared, in which we are afraid. And if we release them, then there will be no events. Therefore, we allow everything, allowing ourselves to feel and experience all of this. We simply examine the body, wherein the body is fear, fear of the new me. There are a lot of pulsations in the groin. We have many fears in that space of the first center. The head is all moving. We are examining. In general, the whole body is very mobile right now. We simply trust ourselves. We trust the new us. I can go there. It's not possible in a new one. One cannot hear oneself, one's true self. And there is no need to close this. It is possible. We listen to ourselves, we listen to our bodies, and we search for our true selves beneath these fears. Everything that is stretched, we examine and strengthen. we seek our greater volume, a volume not constrained by fears. We live through our fears, the leg in the chest, in the jaws, in the nape, the sacrum, the coccyx, the fingers. We examine directly. We simply observe and strengthen everything that exists. We look at all the spasms, all the shooting pains, helping them to be. The stories of the past that we have suppressed and not fully lived through simply fall away. Now we do this quickly in bulk. I simply allow myself to be afraid. There are many fears in the chest. We sink into this as much as possible. Simply into my fears. And we understand with our minds that we are simply enjoying our fears, allowing ourselves to have them, allowing ourselves to take pleasure in our fears. As soon as we allow it, they will become insignificant to us and will fade away. We will be left with only experience and strength. And we will let go of the anchor attachment. We need to consciously understand that we get stuck in our unaccepted emotions, deriving hidden pleasure from this. Let's seek bold, open pleasure. And then it will fade into the background and we will lose interest. We simply dissolve, quietly balancing our bodies, calmly observing all these tensions transitioning into relaxation. Let's mentally and emotionally begin to grow a little bit more, as if the body becomes lighter. And so it gradually and slowly grows in all directions. The cells begin to grow, tensions relax. You can help with your breath, inhaling. The chest rises and it stays more open. And we inhale again, and the arms and legs become bigger. We simply grow like a marshmallow in the oven. We became bigger all at once, but the oven does not limit us. We are simply growing constantly, as if new cells are being built. We become more and more. A lighter vibration. If something in the body is tense, we relax it as much as possible. We look there, and the whole body grows. The part of the body that is still lagging behind will catch up. Gradually, we grow and expand, either with each breath or simply for those who can do it without breathing. We simply spread out in all directions. Let's go up and down, towards the legs, towards the head. Let's grow. We are elongating. We are growing, infinitely. The body grows in length, relaxes and grows in length and height. And now we add forward and backward vividly. We moved forward, all the cells rushed, and back. And now we add to the right and left. Let's imagine that we are already the size of the earth. Our body lies in the center, and we hear ourselves as large as the earth. We are just looking at everything with interest. We examine the world. The world examines us. We declare ourselves anew with a micro smile, simply declaring that I am already different. I am ready for something new. We just enjoy ourselves being large and will move on, expanding, even higher the frequency of our sound. We turn on the third cosmic. Let's go. We are simply expanding. Allow yourself to be even bigger. We are moving into a high frequency. We are going into the future. Let's take a look, see, and choose. And we relax even more. We inhaled and moved on. The body is light, hanging in the middle. And even higher, higher than the moon. Maximum frequency of vibrations. We are accelerating, learning to move into the future. And even higher the frequency of vibrations. A light body to the maximum. It is possible to leave the galaxy. A visa in the back pocket of the underwear. We are accelerating. Well, let's reduce the speed. Slowly, gradually, we begin to descend back. We crawl back into the body. The focus of attention crawls into the body. We crawl into ourselves, becoming aware of ourselves, examining ourselves. We examine our flesh, listen to our bones, listen to our organs. Learn to see our organs, activate 5D, allow it to turn on. We activate the fifth dimension, allow ourselves to see ourselves from within, every bone, every vein. We simply allow it without thinking. The focus of attention is in the fourth center, the chest. Calm, long inhale. Calm, long exhale. We open our eyes, fixate on the space. We return to here and now. After the practice, it's better to wave your limbs. Some small physical exercises. If you want to lie down, you can, but don't forget to ground yourself and wave your limbs for a while.
We have finished the practice. Your task now is to unload everything you felt in the comments. Any sensations you felt in your body, what emotions were present. Even if you didn't feel anything, write it down. I will review and personally respond to everyone who needs it. We will watch together, we will develop together. It's impossible to release all fears at once. If your body was moving, twisting, and you expressed emotions, the practice needs to be repeated. You can repeat it any number of times. There is no overdose here. By unpacking your body, you will move much faster than other people who do not know how to use this. And this was Dennis with you. Subscribe. See you in the next episodes.